I'm very proud of where we are here with Something Positive for Positive People. It has become much more than a podcast. It has become much more than interviews with people who are living with herpes or HIV. This has become a community. And where we are, I believe we're at 35,000 downloads for the podcast now. And that's all thanks to you for sharing the podcast, leaving those ratings and reviews. And I hope that continues to happen, and especially expanding into branding this podcast as something more than the STD podcast. Yes, STDs come up, but the majority of the conversations had are somewhere in the realm of sex positivity. Majority of the conversations do revolve around sexual health and exploring your sexuality and what that looks like for various people, and working through life after a traumatic event, which in many cases is a new STD diagnosis. And for STD Awareness Month, which is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month, I have been connecting with more organizations than anything else. As you all know, I'm a part of HANDS, Herpes Activists Networking to Dismantle Stigma. So we did an episode there with Janelle Marie Pierce, the founder of HANDS and the executive director of the STD Project. And I also got with Breaking HIV Stigma, Richard, who is the founder of that organization that's breaking HIV stigma, which is amazing to hear. And this episode today features a nonprofit organization in San Antonio, Texas, that the host, Kim, from 6 Minute Sex Ed podcast, let me know to reach out to about getting on here. I did a poll on Instagram and just asked people if you knew of any organizations that were nonprofits in your area that you'd be able to just tell me to reach out to so that I could get them on a podcast. And she was one of the people that put me in touch with quite a few people. So thank you so much, Kim, for doing that for me. I think we are getting a lot of useful resources here, especially in the space of nonprofits. Understand that the stigma of STIs is, I think it's an inside job. I think that once you've met with someone who has a positive STI diagnosis, we're not prepared to deal with that unless we've dealt with it before. And in many cases, when I hear from people, it's their first time dealing with an STI. So I believe that the stigma has to be addressed by us who are living with STIs being able and willing to support efforts of those who are aiming to destigmatize it in whatever way we can. If that means just sharing a podcast or leaving a review for something or recommending places to go and get tested and encouraging your friends, family members, loved ones, partners to get tested consistently and to educate themselves on sexual health. I believe that there is a very close link between pleasure and your sexual pleasure and your sexual health. If you follow at the Instagram page, The Art of Loving Yourself, you'll notice that this is a body positivity campaign geared around destigmatization of STIs. People are very vulnerably sharing their bodies as nude as they're comfortable with, and they're sharing their story about how their relationships to their bodies have changed after an STI diagnosis. And some stories have been very clear that there is a level of disconnection from your body after an STI diagnosis that only comes after you've had the chance to challenge your assumptions with experience and you've become able to educate yourself. And when you have a little taste of that freedom of what it means to know your status and allow yourself to be empowered by that, you can experience a whole new level of pleasure. And so I'm very grateful for this community that I've found myself in, and all of the people who are willing to connect me with organizations like Texas Wears Condoms, which they provide free condoms up to 25 throughout the state of Texas. So hopefully by doing things like this and uplifting the services of organizations like this, we can help them grow and be able to expand, because 25 free condoms and I believe it was 4 servings, you'll catch that in the podcast, 4 servings of lube included with the condom package. If everyone's able to access 25 free condoms a month, I think that it's important to have these resources be uplifted. And through this platform, I believe now we're connecting with more people than just those who are living with a positive STI. And I'm thinking that the more people who are able to find this just as a resource to connect with local services and sex educators and free STI testing, free condoms and treatment if needed, the better. So that's my goal here. I want to uplift and expand the reach of these nonprofit organizations that provide sex education and sexual health related services and bring the people who are in my network. I want to be able to help them as well continue to do the work that they're doing, because they're doing such amazing work. And in this podcast, we'll meet Ambie. We get to hear about what her work is at Texas Wears Condoms, and something that came up. I wanted to make sure to bring this in here because I hadn't known about this. I've seen it recently on my social media, and feel free to pick on me for it, but I never knew that there was a quote-unquote female condom. I just didn't know. And I mentioned it out loud, and Sierra, she's finishing up nursing school. This is her last year. She has a textbook, so I'm going to read out of that for anyone else who might not have known that there was a female condom, which they used to be able to offer at Texas Wears Condoms. So you'll have to listen to find out how you can get access to those, which I think is mind-boggling. Okay, so here it is. The female condom, also called the vaginal pouch, is a polyurethane sheath inserted into the vagina. A flexible ring inside the closed end of the condom fits over the vagina to partially cover the perineum. The female condom is the first contraceptive device that allows a woman some protection from STDs without relying on the male condom. Male and female condoms should not be used together because they may adhere to each other. So if you're unaware about these like I was, please feel free to look that up online. I hope you all enjoy this episode. Don't forget that if you are someone who is not ready to support the podcast publicly by sharing or leaving a review or reaching out to me privately, feel free to support via the Patreon page. The Patreon page is up. It is patreon.com/SPFPP, and I'm using that to do a lot of things. And the main one I want to do is be able to better support those people who reach out to me frantically after a positive diagnosis. They don't know what to do, and I want to be able to get them the help that they need after what it is that I've been able to provide them to the extent of my own abilities. Again, I'm in a network of very, very wonderful, experienced people who can do much more good for those who reach out to me than what I'm capable of. So I want to be able to direct these people there and be able to pay them for their services, for their time, for their expertise and their experiences. So if you want to support those things, those are options on the Patreon page as well. Again, that's patreon.com/SPFPP. Welcome to Something Positive for Positive People. I'm Courtney Brand. Something Positive for Positive People is a hub of sex-positive resources. And today, one of those resources is an organization that I came across thanks to the 6-Minute Sex Ed podcast. Kim reached out, and I was able to connect and get in contact with the organization Texas Wears Condoms. And today, I am here with Ambie, the community outreach specialist. Ambie, what is Texas Wears Condoms?
Texas Wears Condoms is a website where you can order up to 25 free condoms every month with free shipping and free delivery.
Nice. So I get to have sex 25 out of 30, 31 days. Why 25 though?
We We used to do 50, and our inventory couldn't handle it.
Oh, okay. So you have a lot of people who are utilizing you for the free condoms, right?
We get about 300 orders a day.
I know that a lot of reservations from people I've known in the past. Well, I'm newly finding out that there are free condoms, but the condoms that they offered in our college health clinic weren't the quote unquote good ones, if you know what I mean. Like they weren't the ones that we saw in the commercials, but all the different condoms serve the same function, correct?
Yes. We have multiple brands. We even have Trojan Magnums. So.
And that's the one I was talking about too. Everybody's like, man, I'm too big for those. Come on now. Like, you see how stretchy these condoms are? I put one on my foot one time, and that speaks a lot about the size of condoms. And do you only offer condoms for people who have a penis, or are there also dental dams or internal condoms for vagina owners?
We have dental dams, flavored ones. We have flavored lube. We have all different kinds of lube. And we used to have the female condom. We don't anymore because they actually got bought out by a pharmaceutical person. And so now you need a prescription.
You need a prescription for condoms?
That's the last I heard of it.
It's interesting that you went from being able to just provide a variation of protection outside of what we're used to all of a sudden now you get bought out by a pharmaceutical company, and now this is a way that you have to go through it. You have to get a prescription for condoms?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Like, I can't imagine walking in and not being able to get condoms because I don't have a prescription.
Yeah, it definitely adds barriers to safe sex.
Yeah. What other services do you provide?
We also have links where you can get free testing. And then we also do events throughout San Antonio, and we try to go out of San Antonio as well to all of Texas. Yeah, at our events, you can grab as many condoms as you can imagine.
Oh, good. All right. So you all are doing something important in San Antonio specifically, but you serve all of Texas. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And are you seeing that you said 300? You have about 300 people that are coming in regularly for the free condoms?
Online every day.
Okay, so the orders are going out in Texas. All the condoms are going out, 300 packs, orders. Are you seeing a significant amount of growth, or is it kind of consistent with that number?
It is a tremendous growth.
Over how long of a period of time?
Well, it started as the play campaign, and we used to get it was a big day if you got 6 orders, and now it's 300 orders a day.
That's nice.
It's insane.
That's awesome. All right, cool. And so what's the origin story of Texas Wears Condoms?
So it started off as a play campaign, which was only for San Antonio. And we, our old boss, Holly, had this dream of condom distribution, which is a super expensive dream to have. And slowly just started getting bigger and bigger. We started promoting on Grindr. And we started going to Dallas Pride, Houston Pride, and it just exploded. And thankfully, we got more money to be able to increase to all of Texas.
Mm-hmm. And is that donation-based only? Because you all are a nonprofit organization, right?
Yeah, we have donors.
Oh, good. Okay. And then what about ways people can get involved with you guys? So it's a simple process as far as ordering the condoms, and you want more people to use it because the more people who use it, the more you can justify expanding and getting more condoms and maybe even doing more services and servicing areas outside of just Texas.
Right, that would be great, yeah.
Okay. And how long has it been Texas Wears Condoms from the play campaign?
It has been about 2 years.
Oh, okay. And
about 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And how do people find the condoms? Is it just a link? Do we just go to a website, click, and fill out our information, and then condoms show up at our door?
Yeah, you go to TexasWearsCondoms.com, and it's pretty simple. We have assorted packages, snug, large packages, or you can create your own and pick out your own condoms that you want, and it gets sent to your house for free within about 2 weeks.
What all comes in the condom package? So let's say I want the all-inclusive package. What all do I receive? 25 condoms and what else?
The assorted package, for example, would have 25 of every single different condom we have: glow in the dark, color, large, snug, ribbed and studded, and then it'll have 4 lubes in it as well.
Okay, cool. And are these one serving of lube? One serving. I don't even know if that's the right terminology. I'm eating it.
Yeah, one serving. Yeah.
Oh, all right, one use. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
2 silicone, 2 water-based.
Okay. And then on the website, are there additional resources at all on TexasWearsCondoms.org, right?
Just where you can get tested.
Okay. So you're able to help people find testing facilities. Are we talking Texas or San Antonio?
Texas.
Okay, great. All right.
Also, where you can find PrEP.
Oh, so you also have access to PrEP, or you have access to resources where you can get
Resources
access
where you
to
can
PrEP?
get PrEP.
I'm hearing that PrEP is about to be offered to some organizations as something for free that people will be able to get. Have you heard anything about that?
I have heard a little, yes.
All right. I'm going to talk with some people who can give us a little more details on that. So just
All
sneak
right.
peek dropping that in here. So you got to stay tuned and keep up with the podcast. And then your role there as the communications outreach specialist. What do you do?
So I take in the orders as they come through the website. I check all the addresses to make sure that they are valid. I make the labels. I pack them. I send them out. I also have an anonymous Q&A platform called Ask Ambie. And so you can send me anonymous sexual health questions. I get a lot of questions mainly about how to have anal sex. And it's completely anonymous. It's through Tumblr. And I'm trying to utilize that more and get more questions. So.
Okay. And what's that Tumblr page?
It is txwearscondoms.tumblr.com.
Okay. So txwearscondoms.tumblr.com is where you can ask Ambie. I'm curious, though, what questions do you get about anal sex?
It hurts. Like, am I not using enough glue? What if this happens? What if that happens?
Uh-huh.
Is it safe? Lots of questions like that. The advice I'm always giving is go very slowly and use lots of lube. The main problem I get is people just wanting to put it in the anus without anything and just straight up. And so I'm always like, you need to really get into that foreplay.
Yeah.
You need to get into the fingers and the lube and the kissing and or else that's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. The entertainment industry makes it look a lot easier than it actually is.
That's what I get a lot, I feel like, is from porn. Like, a lot of people also like, oh, why can't I put an entire, penis in my mouth, all the way down? It's like, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
This isn't porn. It's real life.
Yeah, so these are real questions that people have and they want answers to, and it's so amazing to have a resource available to them where they can feel safe in asking these kinds of questions and opening up about different challenges that they have, especially around sex and sexual health. So I'm glad that you're there for them. I'm so happy to have found your organization and that you all are offering condoms to people for free in the Texas area. Thank you for what you're doing. Where are some areas that your organization needs assistance? If people want to donate, volunteer.
We would love volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah, the process is a little difficult. I'll send you a link on how to become a volunteer, but that's mainly our problem is trying to fill these orders quickly enough to get them out.
And you all are located in San Antonio. What's the address?
4801 Northwest Loop 410.
Okay, and then I'll be sure to link that in the show notes as well. So we'll link your Tumblr page, we'll link Texas Wears Condoms, we'll also link directly to how you can volunteer. Yeah, is there anything else that you want to leave us with, Ambie?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, perfect. This concludes this episode of Something Positive for Positive People with Ambie Lopez from Texas Wears Condoms, who also runs the Tumblr page, TexasWearsCondoms.tumblr.com. I can be found on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Reddit at H on my chest. You can also go and follow Texas Wears Condoms at TXWEARSCONDOMS on Instagram, and I'll link to everything that we talked about in the show notes. Till next time, stay sex positive. If you're someone who's playing around with their sexuality and you're curious about kink, there is a blog post up on Waxo, WAXOH, and it's from someone who identifies as an alpha bottom in the kink community, sharing their experience in New York City as a part of that kink community specifically. And what I found interesting about it was being able to express your passion through kink. That's not something that I've ever considered. I've heard of it actually being rather healing before, and I've had a couple of guests on older podcast episodes where they expressed how getting involved with kink and BDSM was something that was healing to them from their trauma around sex. So that's something else for you to check out if you're needing an additional resource. So go and check out the blog, Waxo, Waxoh. I also have a recent piece on there about being single, not necessarily meaning that you're unavailable. I thought I was very proud of that one. Let's say that. And if you haven't already, go and check out Dating Positives. It's a dating website for people who are positive with STIs. Hop on there, check it out. It's very interactive, user-friendly, and let me know what you think. If you tried it out and you were able to find a date, I want to hear the success story. So you can just send those in to me on Instagram at HOMyChest or any other social media platform, really, if you and I are already friends on there, and you can just email me directly, CourtneyWBrame@gmail.com.